Oh, hi. Sorry it's been a while again. Um, so, today is Earth Day, or what's the end of Earth Day? um, and I'm sorry, lighting sucks over here. Of course I wanted to talk about a million different things about what's going on in the world today. Like, for one, this COVID-19 shit is the worst. I think we all know that by now. It's funny because I was one of the first people to realize how shitty this was. As you all know, I work in the hospital, and the first day they put up a tent for triage outside the ER, and that was when I just sat in my car and I lost it. And of course, the end of the world thoughts went in my head, and the, oh my god, this is real and we're all gonna die thoughts. And I mean, I even got to the point where I was just like, oh my god, I'm single and I'm just gonna die single. And I'm gonna die before I even get to my 30th birthday. Those were all the thoughts that went in my head because of this whole thing. Like, how scary, how absolutely scary this is. And as you can tell, I'm not even home. I'm, the hospital has been really awesome, and I think one of the local businesses in my town gave the hospital some nice hotel stays that a bunch of us are using to stay safe. For me, I moved in with my mom recently, and she's a home health aide, and of course, like I said, I work in the hospital, so I really don't want to bring it home to her, and I certainly don't want her to bring it home to me, just in case we end up passing it along, or even, I mean, they say that people are asymptomatic, so I don't want that to happen either, to be passed asymptomatically. So right now, I'm staying in the local hotel, just to keep safe and to keep her safe, and even to keep my stepdad safe. Because, I mean, he's basically doubly screwed if either one of us has it. So, that being said, and of course, I'm not a medical professional at all. I just want to say that first and foremost. But from an environmental aspect of this that they know has been passed zoonotically. These wet markets in China, well, first of all, let's just talk about that. These wet markets have been around maybe since the 70s. They're not a cultural thing. They're something that had opened up when, when the Chinese Communist Party were starting to realize that there were food shortages. So they just opened up. They said, well, hey, we'll open up these wet markets. The poachers and all the peasants will get their money that way, basically. That being said, of course, during this, and even during the bird flu epidemic back in the 90s, they had shut down the wet markets for a little while, but then they reopened them. This is all about how we treat our food, even just even eating pigs and cows and chickens, the way we treat our food is not healthy for us. Think of those chickens that are in all of those small, compact places together and riddled with diseases, and just passing them on to each other, and those diseases are evolving and mutating and until they pass to another type of living creature, another species. And that's how viruses survive, and that's how they become antibiotic resistant. That's how they thrive that way. Just think of that for a little while. I for one, well, at least not while I'm at the hotel, because vegan food, when it's frozen and processed, is... Excuse me, I'm sorry, I just woke up. But vegan food, when it's processed and frozen, is absolutely disgusting. First of all, processed food isn't great for you either, and that's why I've even tried to stop the processed food as much as I'm able. Let's think about our environment, how we treat our food. And it goes further. Obviously, I mean, I say do your part on Earth Day, but do your part every day. Because this is our home and we only get one. They haven't found Planet 2 yet, and who knows if they ever will. This is, of course, the year 2020. We don't have the technology for that yet. Hell, we haven't even found sentient alien life. Of course, we've found germs in space. Oh God, I mean, I think of all these viruses here, and they've found amoebas and shit in space. Let's just think of all that for a little while. Stew on that. Just meditate on that and see how heavy that is, because we are, well, frankly, alone so far. We're the only planet discovered to us, to known science, that has life on it. We're the universe's tiny mistake. You know, we're like an experiment. We're like a petri dish in the eyes of God. We are the only planet known to science that has sentient life on it. I wanted to share with you guys a poem that probably one of my all-time favorite poems, and I thought, what better time than right now when it's a little dark out, but the sun just went down. It's called Do Not Go Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. So, of course, that being said, I do have to grab my laptop in order to read it to you. Because, though I can at least read a poem, and I can remember the name of a poem and its author, oh, jeez. I cannot recite a poem by heart, though I wish I could. That'd be quite amazing. Of course, I can memorize lines if I want to, but that's really about it. So, here you go. Like I said, this is Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death, who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now, and with your fierce tears I pray, do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Happy Earth Day.